Welcome to Biography with Plutarch, where we delve into the lives of extraordinary individuals to uncover the essence of their character and the timeless lessons they impart. Today, we embark on a fascinating journey through the life of Michael Jackson, the renowned American singer, songwriter, and dancer who left an indelible mark on the world of music and beyond. Born on August 29, 1958, in Gary, Indiana, Michael's early life was a tapestry woven from the threads of family, music, and hardship. In the industrial city of Gary, where the steel mills stood as sentinels along the shores of Lake Michigan, the Jackson family made their home. Joseph Walter Jackson, Michael's father, worked as a steel worker at the Inland Steel Company, while his mother, Catherine Esther Jackson, dedicated herself to raising their 9 children in a small 2-bedroom house on Jackson Street. This humble abode was a hub of musical activity, with Joseph, an amateur guitarist, and his brothers performing locally as the Falcons. Michael's earliest memories were filled with the sounds of music and the smell of freshly cooked meals wafting from the kitchen, where Catherine would often prepare traditional African-American dishes like fried chicken, collard greens, and cornbread. The family's musical heritage was not limited to Joseph's endeavors. Catherine's father, Prince Screws, was a preacher who played the guitar, and her mother, Martha Upshaw, sang in the church choir. This rich cultural legacy instilled in Michael a deep love for music, which would eventually become his life's passion. As a child, Michael would often watch his father rehearse with his brothers, mesmerized by the way their voices blended together in perfect harmony. Michael's childhood was marked by both joy and hardship. His father, driven by a desire to see his children succeed, pushed them relentlessly to practice and perfect their musical talents. The Jackson brothers, Jackie, Tito, Jermaine, Marlon, and Michael, formed the Jackson 5, with Michael's soulful voice quickly becoming the group's signature sound. Their mother, Catherine, provided a nurturing presence, fostering a sense of unity and encouraging her children's artistic pursuits. She would often take them to local talent shows, where they would perform in front of small crowds, honing their skills and building their confidence. As the Jackson 5 began to gain local recognition, they faced challenges that tested their resolve and character. Performing in local talent shows and competitions, they encountered a mix of applause and criticism, which helped shape Michael's perseverance and dedication to his craft. One notable example was the time they performed at the famous Apollo Theater in Harlem, where they were booed off the stage. This experience could have been devastating for a young boy, but Michael used it as an opportunity to learn and grow, realizing that failure is an essential part of success. The historical context of Michael's early years was marked by significant social and cultural changes. The civil rights movement was in full swing, with figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X leading the charge against racial inequality. The Jackson family, as African Americans living in a predominantly white community, faced their own share of challenges, including racism and economic hardship. However, they found solace in their music and their faith, which played a central role in shaping Michael's character and future path. In 1964, the Jackson family moved to a new home on Jackson Street, where they would spend countless hours rehearsing and perfecting their craft. The house became a makeshift studio, with Joseph setting up a small recording space in the basement. It was here that Michael and his brothers would spend hours practicing, experimenting with different sounds, and developing their unique style. As the years passed, the Jackson 5 began to gain traction, performing at local venues and events. In 1966, they won a local talent show, which caught the attention of Gordon Keith, a local musician who became their manager. Keith helped the group secure gigs at larger venues, including the Regal Theater in Chicago, where they opened for notable acts like The Temptations and Gladys Knight and the Pips. The family's big break came in 1968 when they signed with Steeltown Records, a local label owned by Gordon Keith. The Jackson 5 released their first single, Big Boy, which became a regional hit, paving the way for their future success. Although this period marked the beginning of Michael's rise to fame, it is essential to recognize that his early life and formative years laid the foundation for his later achievements. The experiences and challenges he faced during these formative years would foreshadow his future significance, as he navigated the complexities of fame, creativity, and personal growth. The year 1969 marked a significant turning point for the Jackson 5. After signing with Motown Records, they found themselves under the guidance of Berry Gordy Jr., who envisioned them as the next big thing in pop music. Under Motown's tutelage, their first single, I Want You Back, released in October of that year, became an instant hit, topping the Billboard Hot 100 chart. This was followed by a string of successful singles, including ABC, The Love You Save, and I'll Be There, all reaching #1 on the charts. The group's energetic performances, coupled with their harmonious vocals, especially Michael's soulful voice, captivated audiences across America. As the Jackson 5's popularity soared, they began to appear on various television shows, including The Ed Sullivan Show and American Bandstand, further expanding their fan base. Their music was a unique blend of pop, rock, and R&B, appealing to a wide audience. However, the intense touring schedule and pressure from Motown to continuously produce hits took its toll on Michael and his brothers. The early 1970s saw significant changes within the Jackson 5. They changed their name to the Jacksons after leaving Motown Records in 1975, signing with Epic Records, where they continued to produce successful albums like The Jacksons and Goin' Places. Although the group's popularity was not as immense as it had been during their Motown years, this period allowed Michael to explore his creativity further. He began writing more of his own material, including songs for the Jacksons, such as Blame It on the Boogie. Michael's solo career officially took off in 1971 with the release of his debut album, Got to Be There, which included the hit singles Got to Be There and Rockin' Robin. His subsequent albums, Ben 1972 and Music and Me 1973, further established him as a budding talent. However, it was his fourth studio album, Forever Michael 1975, that began to showcase the depth of his artistry, with songs like We're Almost There, demonstrating his growing vocal maturity. The late 1970s were pivotal for Michael Jackson. His work on the soundtrack for the film The Wiz 1978, where he starred alongside Diana Ross, marked a significant milestone in his career. It was during this project that he met Quincy Jones, who would later become instrumental in producing Michael's breakthrough album, Off the Wall. Released in 1979, Off the Wall catapulted Michael to international stardom. With hits like Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Rock With You, and the title track, Off the Wall. This album not only solidified his position as a leader in popular music, but also marked the beginning of an era where he would push the boundaries of what was possible in the music industry. As Michael Jackson's solo career began to overshadow his work with the Jacksons, he found himself at a crossroads. His decision to pursue a more pop-oriented sound, under the guidance of Quincy Jones, proved to be a masterstroke. The combination of Michael's songwriting talent, his evolving dance style, and the innovative production techniques used on Off the Wall created a masterpiece that appealed to audiences worldwide. In conclusion, this period in Michael Jackson's life laid the groundwork for his future successes. The year 1982 marked a significant turning point for Michael Jackson. His sixth studio album, Thriller, released on November 30th of that year, would go on to become one of the best-selling albums of all time, with estimated sales of over 65 million copies worldwide. Produced by Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson, Thriller was a game-changer in the music industry, featuring 7 top 10 singles, including the iconic title track, Thriller, which revolutionized the art of music videos. The Thriller video, directed by John Landis, was a 14-minute short film that told a story of love, death, and the supernatural. With its groundbreaking special effects, choreography, and makeup, it redefined the boundaries of what was possible in music videos. The album itself was a masterpiece of pop music, with songs like Billie Jean, Beat It, and Wanna Be Startin' Somethin', showcasing Michael's incredible vocal range, songwriting talent, and dance skills. The impact of Thriller on popular culture was immense. Michael Jackson's album spent 37 weeks at the top of the US Billboard 200 chart, and its success helped to break down racial barriers in the music industry. The album's fusion of pop, rock, and R&B styles appealed to a wide audience, and its influence can still be seen in many modern artists today. As Thriller continued to dominate the charts, Michael Jackson became an international superstar known for his electrifying live performances, which featured his signature moonwalk dance move. His 1983 performance on the Motown 25, Yesterday, Today, Forever TV special, where he first debuted the moonwalk, is still widely regarded as one of the greatest live performances of all time. The success of Thriller also led to Michael Jackson's involvement in various philanthropic activities. The song, which was written to raise funds for famine relief in Africa, became one of the best-selling singles of all time, with over 45 million copies sold worldwide. In the mid-1980s, Michael Jackson released his seventh studio album, Bad, which continued his reign as the king of pop. Produced by Quincy Jones and Michael Jackson, Bad featured hits like I Just Can't Stop Loving You, Bad, and The Way You Make Me Feel. The album's success was fueled by a record-breaking world tour, which featured elaborate stage sets, pyrotechnics, and choreographed dance routines. As the 1980s drew to a close, Michael Jackson's personal life began to attract more attention from the media. His changing appearance, which included his nose job, skin bleaching, and hair straightening, sparked controversy and speculation about his mental health. Despite these challenges, Michael continued to produce innovative music, including his eighth studio album, Black or White, which addressed issues of racism and social justice. In conclusion, the period between 1982 and 1990 was a defining era in Michael Jackson's career, marked by unprecedented success, innovation, and philanthropy. That's all for today's biography with Plutarch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, remember that understanding the lives of remarkable individuals helps us better understand ourselves.